Viewers who has had a caller like that, get in touch with us now. We'd like to hear from you. Our number here on Crime Line is 1850 40 50 60. Marian.
Last month we showed you a photograph of Marie Kilmartin, who's been missing from her home in Portlaoise since the 17th of December. But so far the Garda have had no information on her whereabouts. It's a particularly baffling case. Marie attended a Christmas party on the afternoon that she went missing, but nothing in her behaviour or in anything that she said to friends suggested any particular worries or anxieties that would explain her disappearance. Now, although she went missing on the Thursday, she was seen by two people in Portlaoise town on Friday the 17th of December. We don't know where she went between Thursday evening and Friday morning, but her movements during that period could be crucial in establishing what happened after that. Marie Kilmartin is 36 years of age. When last seen, she was wearing a white tweed double-breasted coat with big lapels and a black scarf with red flowers and specks of grey. Marie moved to Portlaoise from County Galway in 1981 and lived here at number 12 Ballad, a house she bought shortly after she came to live in the town. On the afternoon she went missing, Thursday the 16th of December, Marie walked from her home to the daycare centre on the New Road, where she attended a Christmas party for senior citizens. Marie worked throughout the year in the day centre as a part-time voluntary assistant.
We were invited that day down to the day centre for our Christmas dinner, and she was there. So it was arranged beforehand that I would bring her home because she was nervous of coming up the road on her own. So Francis and I brought her up here to her house, and she wanted in for tea or coffee. And we were both going out that night, and we felt we hadn't time, so we said some other time. So we waited until she went into the back of the house. And that's the last we saw of her. Now I thought she was to me she was Marie. She hadn't changed, and we talked about Christmas and what she was going to do, and her parents were coming over on the following Wednesday night, and they were going out for a meal to the Collection. And to me she was, as she always was, I felt in good form. Yeah.
Marie got home at 3:45. This was the last known sighting of her on the Thursday. However, from information gathered by the Gardaí, we know that she got a phone call at 4:15. The identity of this caller isn't known, but we do know that the call was made from the public call box on the Dublin Road. The Gardaí are very anxious that the person who made this call should contact them, or if anybody saw or knows who made the call, that they should make contact too.
Okay.
Marie's phone number is ex-directory, so presumably the person who called is somebody who knew her well enough to have been given the number. Marie left the house sometime between 4:15 when she got this call and 6 o'clock when the woman with whom she shares the house returned. It would have been out of character for Marie to leave the house on her own after dark. She had a phobia about darkness and usually insisted on being accompanied when she went out at night. If you saw Marie on the evening of Thursday the 16th of December, or if you have any knowledge of where she spent that night or who she was with, we'd like to hear from you. At 6 o'clock, Patricia Doyle, who shares the house with Marie, returned home from work.
I came off duty at 6 o'clock that evening, and I came home, and I came to the back door, and I thought Marie was here, and I knocked on the door, and then I remembered that she said she was going to the party in the daycare centre and she'd be late. So I came in then into the house, and the shopping that she used to get that day, she left it on the back of the chair, and she left her Christmas presents that she got in the centre on the table. The kettle was plugged in, the alarm was on, the immersion was on for the bath, and the dog was locked into the shed, so the gate was open. So everything was quite normal. That was normal, the normal way that we lived here. You know, that was usually what Marie did in the evenings when she came in. She said to me that morning that she was going to the daycare centre party. It was her last day at work. And she said, "Do you mind if I stay late with Francis Bleach and Francis Conroy, the two Francis she always called them?" And then when I came in that evening, I was saying, I bet you now, it was Christmas time, you see, and I was thinking she's going out with the women now to some kind of a party or something. But as the night went on, I was awake all night, I was up all night, just looking out the window to see was she coming. No sign. So I was very annoyed, because it's not, Mary wasn't like that. Mary was very dependable, and she had a routine, and she stuck to her routine. It was just straight down the line with her. Everything was done, as it should be done with her. I still had to ring Francis Bleach, and I had to, speak to those people. So I went into work, just got into my clothes and went into work, and I left it a while, and then I rang them. But then there was nothing. Nobody knew where she was. Nobody had seen her. There was nothing. And the next thing then, we just reported it to the Garda, and the Garda came up here, and they said, she went away, and I just said, it was something took her out of the house. So I was delighted then when they said the phone call was made to the house, because I knew then that Mary hadn't gone out on impulse, you know what I mean? And I was delighted then. I said to myself, somebody rang her, someone she knew and trusted rang her, because she wouldn't go out in the dark on her own. So I knew it was somebody she knew and trusted. That Friday, my sister was coming down for me. We were going to have a party here, which she always enjoyed, But, everything was happening, everything was happening for us. And Mary loved that type of thing. She loved people calling, and she loved going out, and, she was really happy. And she had everything done. She had all her Christmas presents packed. She had them all done. She had no more presents to buy. She had them all in the room. She had her bag packed to go home for Christmas. It's in there in the room. I can show it to you. Everything is in it. So if she was thinking of going anywhere, all she had to do, she hadn't even to pack. The bag is there. All she had to do was put it on her back.
The following morning, Friday the 17th of December, Mary was seen again outside the health centre in Portlaoise town.
Well, I was coming out of the health centre on Friday, the Friday morning, the 17th, and as I got into my car and started reversing it, I saw Marie standing over in the corner of the car park. And I rolled down the window and I said, "Hello, Marie." And she said, "Hello, May," quietly.
Hello, May. Mary was alone and didn't seem to be in the best of form. 2.5 hours later, Mary was seen again in Crazy Price's supermarket by Christine Dwyer, who also knew her well. We've no knowledge of where Mary spent the 2.5 hours between these sightings.
It was on the Friday, and I had already gone out of the shopping centre, forgotten to get something, and I came back in. I heard my name being called. I looked around, and it was Marie, and I went over to her. And she was very shaky and everything, and she was all muffled up in a scarf and coat, and she was pretty upset on that day, very nervous and shaky, her voice trembling and that. And I was going away, and she said, "Will you come with me?" I couldn't. I told her I was in a hurry, and I went and left her.
Nothing is known of what happened to Mary after this. Mary's family and friends and the Garda at Portlaoise are seriously concerned for her safety. Posters have been put all round the area. Appeals have been read in all the local churches, and the Garda have done a full-scale missing persons investigation. But so far, they've nothing that can indicate what happened to Marie Kilmartin. Tonight, we're appealing to anybody who's any information whatsoever to come forward and give it to the Garda investigating the case. Pat, you were very concerned about this from the outset. Why?
Well, we were concerned about Mary because it was most unusual for her to go away or to remain away without informing particularly Patricia Doyle, with whom she shared the house, and indeed any of her friends, or to remain out. She wasn't anxious at all. She was in fact more or less nervous of being out at night on her own. She wouldn't go out at night unless she was accompanied. And we were concerned for another reason, because we know that she didn't take much money with her, even though she did have money available to her. And she didn't appear to have made preparations to go away, as people might be expected to do. And that, coupled with the fact that she didn't, since she came to live in Portlaoise, which was 13 years or thereabouts, go out or remain away from the house where she lived without informing the people where she was going to be. She did occasionally stay with a friend, but that would be on a rare occasion.
Right. And you reckon that she was very distressed and agitated?
Well, as will be seen from the last witness, I think, on the reconstruction, who was Christine, who knew her quite well. She was quite distressed and agitated on that day. And as I say, she hasn't been seen since then.
Right. Now, I know that there are several areas where you think that people can help you, but you're particularly interested in the phone call.
Yes, we are very interested to find out who phoned her. The time, I would say, was closer to 4:30 than 4:15. But we're very interested in this because the caller obviously knew her number. It was ex-directory. He or she must have obtained the number by some means, and we must take it that the caller was known to
Well,
Mary.
I mean, there already have been requests for the caller to come forward, and the caller hasn't. So I presume that maybe somebody might have noticed somebody around the phone box or that kind of thing.
Well, this is what we're hoping as well, that, and this has been the subject of media reports, particularly the newspapers, up to now, and indeed the radio as well. But so far we haven't had any person who is able to tell us that they saw somebody in the vicinity of the phone box.
Right. Now, have you any idea where she spent the Thursday night?
No, we don't know that either, and we're most anxious to know where she spent the Thursday night. We think this is crucial. That, coupled with the phone call, we feel are really crucial.
It sounds like it was in Portlaoise, doesn't it?
It does sound like that very much, but we would appeal to anyone as well who may have seen her coming towards the health centre, going to it or going from it, or going to the shopping centre,
right.
Or leaving the shopping centre at round about 12, maybe 11:45 to 12 on the Friday.
Right. Now, I mean, I know that you've had some sightings that haven't been confirmed, but just to go over the ground, people have seen the photographs of her, but you reckon that she's quite distinctive jewellery?
Yes, Mary was fond of wearing rings, and we believe from what we've been told that she was wearing at least 3 rings on each hand, 3 rings on either hand when she went missing. And she also had a rather distinctive watch, a mother of pearl watch with a rather large face. And she may have had, or she may be wearing from time to time, a gold chain which was about 24 to maybe 26 inches long. Now she also had a part, obviously she won't have the clothing or most of it that she had 2 months ago, but she would probably have the overcoat, the coat, the beige coloured coat with rather large lapels and dark black boots, black ankle boots. She would have those also. And one other thing that would be distinctive is her handbag. She had a black leather handbag with a little pattern going through it, and it had both a shoulder strap and a hand strap.
You know, we were just talking about this earlier on. It is quite possible that she's watching this programme. I mean, we often say that people are entitled to go away if they want to, but yet you are worried about it.
Yes, of course we're worried for the reasons that I've mentioned, that it would be most unusual for her to go away. She was a very good living lady, I might add, who we know attended Mass almost daily, or most days anyway. But if it is possible that she is out there, I would appeal to her to contact her family, to be conscious of the distress and the anxiety that she has caused them, or to contact the Garda. She has absolutely nothing to fear from anybody.
Right, you must presume that whoever called her had her confidence, I presume.
Well, this is what we believe, and this is what it looks like, because as I say, her number was ex-directory. The call did last for some time. It wasn't a wrong number. So we believe that she knew the caller, and we believe that this was the reason why she left the house.
Right. So any help on any of those kinds of areas, and indeed sightings from anywhere around the country, presumably?
This is so. Sightings from anywhere around the country.
Right. OK, Pat, thank you very much for that. And a reminder again of the number, it's 1850 40 50 60. David.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight on Crime Line. Those cases again where we want your help. We're looking for a man who raped a young woman in Dublin city centre. Can you help us to identify him? Those men who raided the bank in Edenderry, do you know anything of their movements or indeed of their identities? And Marie Kilmartin from Portlaoise, missing since before Christmas. Do you know anything that will help us to find her? And of course,